Jungkook BTS panics seeing Jin exhausted. Worldwide army in uproar. The tension in Los Angeles last night reached an unexpected peak when BTS's Jin, widely known as the group's eldest and one of its most resilient members, was seen visibly struggling with exhaustion during a high-profile schedule. The incident, which unfolded in front of cameras and dozens of witnesses, sent shockwaves across the ARMY community worldwide. But what exactly happened that made Jungkook's reaction so alarmed? And why has this single moment become the center of a global discussion overnight? Eyewitness accounts describe a sudden change in Jin's demeanor just moments after an intense public appearance. According to several sources present, his usually composed posture faltered, his movements slowed, and an unmistakable expression of strain appeared on his face. What drew even greater attention was Jungkook's immediate and unhesitating response, abandoning his position to move closer to Jin, his expression shifting from focused professionalism to visible panic. The youngest member's sudden change in behavior was captured from multiple angles, each frame intensifying concerns among fans. The footage circulating online shows a sequence that armies describe as unsettling. Jin appears to lower his head slightly, taking a deep breath as though fighting against overwhelming fatigue. The lighting at the venue may have made the moment easy to miss for the casual observer, but for fans who know the group's every detail, the signs were clear and concerning. Jungkook, usually the embodiment of calm under pressure, can be seen glancing repeatedly toward Jin before finally stepping forward, his brows furrowed, lips tightening as though assessing the situation. What he saw in those seconds remains unknown, but the urgency in his movement speaks volumes. Speculation among fans has reached a fever pitch. Was this simply the result of a packed schedule, or does it point to something more serious happening behind the scenes? Many point to the group's relentless pace in recent months, noting that even for a band accustomed to long hours and high-intensity performances, the demands appear to have escalated. Social media has become a storm of theories, each accompanied by slowed-down video clips, zoomed images of Jin's expression, and timestamps marking every second of Jungkook's reaction. While interpretations differ, the shared sentiment among armies is one of worry and frustration. Part of the unease stems from the fact that Jin has rarely shown public signs of vulnerability. Known for his discipline, he has consistently pushed through demanding situations without letting discomfort show. This makes the recent moment not only unusual, but alarming for those who have followed the group for years. Jungkook's reaction, sharp, unfiltered, and uncharacteristically revealing, has only amplified the sense that what happened was far from ordinary. Could it be that Jungkook saw a side of Jin's condition that the cameras didn't fully capture? Those present at the scene describe a noticeable change in the group's dynamic after the incident. Jungkook remained physically close to Jin for the rest of the schedule, frequently checking on him with subtle glances. Other members appeared to adjust their positions slightly, perhaps in an unspoken attempt to shield Jin from further strain or attention. Observers also noted that the group's usual lighthearted interactions were replaced with a more restrained and serious atmosphere, a detail that has not gone unnoticed by fans dissecting every available clip. The debate online is not just about what happened in those few seconds, but also about the larger question of how much pressure the members are under. Many armies have voiced concerns about the possible toll this pace is taking on their physical and mental well-being. For a group that has been in the spotlight for over a decade, balancing personal health with public expectations is a constant and precarious challenge. The image of Jungkook's worried face, frozen mid-step toward Jin, has become symbolic of these deeper concerns, a single moment encapsulating years of unspoken strain. It is worth noting that this is not the first time fans have raised alarms over a member's apparent fatigue. However, the combination of Jin's visible exhaustion and Jungkook's immediate panic has struck a nerve far deeper than before. The reactions pouring in from around the globe range from heartfelt messages of support to urgent calls for the group's management to reconsider the intensity of their current commitments. "If Jungkook panics, you know it's serious," wrote one widely shared post, echoing a sentiment that has been repeated thousands of times. As the footage continues to spread, discussions have expanded beyond fan communities into broader entertainment circles. Commentators and industry insiders are weighing in, analyzing body language and speculating about the unseen pressures behind the polished public image. The narrative forming is one of human vulnerability breaking through the carefully maintained facade of global stardom, a reminder that even the most celebrated artists are not immune to the basic needs of rest and recovery. The unanswered questions only fuel the momentum of the story. Did Jungkook receive a signal from Jin, or was his reaction purely instinctive? Was there something said in the moments before the cameras caught the shift in energy? And perhaps the most pressing question of all, how is Jin now? In the absence of direct answers, the speculation will likely continue, each new frame of video dissected in search of hidden clues. For now, the only certainty is that the incident has left an indelible mark on ARMYs worldwide. The image of Jungkook's panic is a powerful one, an unguarded glimpse into the bond between members, forged through years of shared struggle and triumph. It is also a reminder of the human cost behind the glittering lights of the global stage. Whether this moment will prompt changes in the group's immediate schedule remains to be seen, but the emotional impact on fans is undeniable. In the days ahead, as more analysis and theories emerge, the scene in Los Angeles will remain a focal point of conversation. For ARMYs, it is not just about a fleeting moment of exhaustion. It is about what it represents. It is about care, vigilance, and the unspoken language between those who have been through everything together. And it is about the collective hope that Jin, Jungkook, and the rest of BTS can find the balance they need to continue their journey without sacrificing their well-being. The question now is, will this incident be the catalyst for that change, or just another moment that fades into the background of an unrelenting spotlight? The reaction from the global ARMY community was instantaneous. Within minutes of the incident being captured on video, social media platforms lit up with clips, screenshots, and captions filled with alarm. What happened to Jin became a trending question on multiple platforms, while Jungkook's expression was dissected frame by frame in search of meaning. The community's collective analysis was not just idle speculation, it was a reflection of genuine fear. Many noted that Jungkook's history of staying composed in even the most chaotic situations made his visible panic all the more significant. Some fans highlighted the subtle but telling details in the footage. The way Jungkook's shoulders tensed as he shifted toward Jin, the quick but sharp glance exchanged between them, and the absence of the group's usual ease in the moments that followed. These micro-expressions, they argue, are not accidental. They are instinctive, involuntary reactions to real concern. This is why the scene resonates so powerfully. It feels unfiltered, unscripted, and painfully human. The environment that night only adds to the intensity of the narrative. Los Angeles was hosting one of the group's most high-pressure appearances in months, with international media, industry figures, and high-ranking guests in attendance. Under such scrutiny, every movement is magnified. For Jin to show any sign of fatigue in that context is unprecedented. For Jungkook to visibly react is even more so. The result is a moment that transcends the boundaries of routine fan observation and becomes a legitimate point of public discussion. There is also the question of timing. BTS's recent activities have been relentless, involving extensive travel, rehearsals, and appearances that span multiple time zones. Even for performers of their caliber, such a schedule can push the limits of endurance. Fans have voiced concerns for months about the group's workload, but those concerns have often been met with reassurances that the members are resilient and well supported. The footage of Jin, however, directly challenges that perception. It forces the uncomfortable question: at what cost is this level of output being maintained? Industry insiders, speaking on condition of anonymity, have commented on the increasing strain that global acts face in balancing their artistic goals with the commercial demands placed upon them. These are not superhumans, one veteran tour manager remarked in an online discussion. They are highly disciplined professionals, but no one can run at full capacity indefinitely without consequences. For many armies, this sentiment echoes their own fears that the glamour and success may be masking an underlying exhaustion. The imagery of the night has already taken on symbolic weight. Still images of Jungkook's moment of panic have been shared thousands of times, often accompanied by captions emphasizing the bond between the members. Some see it as proof of Jungkook's deep loyalty to Jin. Others interpret it as a visual confirmation that something serious was unfolding. Either way, the emotional impact is undeniable. The visual of the group's youngest instinctively moving to protect its eldest strikes a chord that transcends language and geography. In the days following the incident, discussions have not calmed. They have intensified. Analytical threads are compiling past moments when Jin appeared tired, cross-referencing them with recent scheduling patterns. While these compilations remain speculative, the level of detail and dedication demonstrates the depth of concern within the fanbase. This is not fleeting gossip. It is an organized, emotionally charged investigation driven by a community that feels protective over the people they support. At the core of this global reaction lies a fundamental truth about BTS's appeal. Their connection to their fans is built on authenticity. The members have shared their struggles openly in the past, speaking about the physical and mental challenges of life under constant scrutiny. This transparency has fostered a level of trust that makes moments like the one in Los Angeles hit harder. Fans are not just seeing performers, they are seeing individuals, and when those individuals show signs of strain, it feels personal. The lingering question is how this moment will influence BTS's trajectory in the near term. Historically, the group has been adept at managing crises and shifting attention when needed. However, the raw nature of the footage and the intensity of the public reaction may make this incident harder to sideline. If anything, it could serve as a turning point, either sparking meaningful changes in scheduling and workload or becoming another unresolved chapter in the ongoing story of the pressures faced by global superstars. Beyond the speculation and analysis, one aspect remains clear. The scene in Los Angeles has exposed a fault line between the image of tireless, unshakable professionalism and the reality of human limitations. Jungkook's panic was not a rehearsed performance. It was a reflex. It was the kind of reaction that bypasses media training and speaks directly to the instincts of care and protection. For fans, that reflex is both reassuring because it shows how much the members look after each other, and troubling because it implies there was something to be genuinely worried about. For now, the world waits. The videos continue to circulate, the discussions continue to grow, and the questions remain unanswered. Will BTS's schedule be adjusted in response to this public concern? Will fans receive more transparency about the members' well-being? And, perhaps most urgently, how is Jin recovering from what the cameras captured that night? Until there is more clarity, the image of Jungkook's sudden, almost urgent step toward his hyung will continue to define this chapter in BTS's history, a single moment that ignited a global storm of worry, empathy, and debate.